Galaxy 8 for the Stellaris Grand AI Tournament. It's the last few user-generated empires, and I made a couple of empires to fill the last one up. So we're starting with the Ferbanite Berserkers, a dictatorial purity order of... so they have empire size effect minus 10%, which is good. And they are fanatic purifiers, so no diplomacy for them, no galactic market. Purification casts a spell on other empires, though. Xenophobes will always be purged, getting unity from purging Xenophobes, and may use Armageddon bombardment stats. Ship fire rate, 33% more, army damage, 33% more, ship build cost 15% less, and naval capacity 33% more. It's really good, and they're also reanimators, so they can even revive these armies that they defeat. Military Academy is replaced by a Dread Encampment for Necromancer jobs and undead armies. Necromancers turn consumer goods into physics and society research points and naval capacity and spawn undead defense armies. The defeated organic armies are sometimes resurrected as undead armies, and defeated organic leviathans can sometimes be resurrected. Their fanatic xenophobes can purge and enslave aliens. Decreased opinion for other species, cannot give aliens full citizenship or full military service, cannot use refugees welcome species policy. Their starbase influence cost is reduced by a whopping 40%, pop growth speed plus 20%. They're also militarist, claim influence cost is reduced by 10%, ship fire rate is increased by 10%, and can also use the no retreat war doctrine. So they can ravage the galaxy if they do it right. They are living on the Volyut planet, and it's a Gaia world, led by the Lithoid Ferbanites. Let's see, they are Lithoids, so they have 25% less pop growth speed, which can be a problem for a purity order that only accepts their own populace. The pop assembly speed is minus 25%, habitability though is 50% more, army health 50% more, and leader lifespan plus 50, so that definitely makes up for that. They're intelligent. They have 10% more research from any jobs, and traditional 10% more unity from jobs. So as far as advancement goes, they have no shortage of that with their pops. They're also charismatic and get even 20% more amenities from jobs. So these advanced processes, they're doing very good. They are fleeting though, leader lifespan minus 25 years. But that's not that bad when you're Lithoid and have 50 more years, so it's not a bad thing. To take unruly empire size from popes plus 10%, yeah, that will only come into play very, very late game. And due to their rather slow growth, it's not a big problem at all. They are life-seeded. They're starting on a Gaia world of size 30 with several rare planetary features. Habitability preference is set to Gaia world preference, making other types of planets undesirable. So they will have some problems finding anything else. I mean, they could build like orbital habitats, ring worlds, and they can also settle on other worlds, but it will be hard. So it's better to terraform them into Gaia worlds. It's better to go the terraforming way then. And it gives them a starting boost, though, having a Gaia world, and so they should strive to go for early war. We'll see how they do. I have yet to see a Gaia world life-seeded start really succeed with an AI, so we'll see how it goes. The Sandar cleansers are living on Say, an Arctic world, and have a Cthulhu-like symbol here. Looking very dark here. The Loveday Mail. It's an Imperial Star Empire, power projection +1. They are reanimators as well, which means Military Academy is replaced by Dread Encampment with Necromancer jobs, allowing the recruitment of undead armies. Necromancers turn consumer goods into research of physics and society and naval capacity, and spawn undead defense armies. Defeated organic armies are sometimes resurrected as undead armies, and defeated organic leviathans can sometimes be resurrected. They also have slaver guilds. Slave pop resource output plus 10%, and 35% of pops are enslaved, so it's crazy. They're fanatic authoritarian, stratified economy living standards, which works well with slaver guilds, and has monthly influence +1 and worker pop resource output plus 10%. They are also militarists, claim influence cost minus 10% and ship fire rate plus 10%. They are as well necrophages, so their leaders are necrophages. That is important. The pre-patent species will most probably go into the slavery. They have pop growth speed minus 75%, assembly speed minus 50%, and their general pop upkeep is minus 50%. Ruler pop resource output and specialist pop resource output is plus 5%. Worker pop resource output is minus 10%. So these necrophages will stay at the top echelon, and the others will be used at the lower echelon. They are intelligent, so they even have 10% more research output from jobs and rapid breeders, which interestingly increases their pop growth speed by 10%. They're charismatic too. Amenities from jobs is increased by 20%, so they have a lot more output, which is always working relatively well. They are non-adaptive though, habitability minus 10% and unruly, empire size from pops plus 10%, but of course these pops are very, very good pops on the one hand, and the necroid pops are not going to grow that quickly. They are necrophages. Can convert pops of other species to the primary species. Only necrophage pops may be leaders or take ruler jobs. Start with a number of pops of a secondary pre-patent species. Guaranteed habitable planets are instead primitive civilizations that need to be taken over. So they need that input of other pops to survive, and will get a huge diplomatic malus if they necrophage other species. This is their pre-patent species, which is currently being transformed. Arthropoids of the name of Heshse, like their home planet. Arthropoids with the names Veklitek and others. And they're just rapid breeders, which is relatively good for the pre-patent species. There always need to be enough of the pre-patent species to be transformed, and rapid breeders ensures that. All in all, if they manage to start some wars to get more pops at the right times, then they have good chances. So this is definitely a civilization geared for war, and we'll see how it works out for them. Now we have the Archeloid Empire. Starting on the continental world of Archelonia, I think Archelon or something like that is also some kind of prehistoric turtle that went about like growing to 4 or 5 meters in size. Really, really big thing. So we'll see how their martial empire develops. They have Imperial authority, power projection +1, distinguished admiralty, 10% more ship fire rate, 1 more admiral level capped, fleet command limit +10, and whoppingly good. Admirals and generals start at level 3, which is really, really useful. They have warrior culture, replacing entertainer jobs with duelist jobs, and the duelists turn alloys into unity, amenities, and naval capacity. Army damage additionally increased by 20%, so they are really geared for war. They are also authoritarian, allowing for stratified economy living standards, can enslave aliens, and not use democratic government forms. Monthly influence is +0.5. Worker pop resource output is 5% more, which is great at the start. Xenophobes can purge and enslave aliens. Decreased opinion for other species. Cannot give aliens full citizenship nor military service. Nor can they welcome refugees. They have a Starblaze influence cost of -20%, which is really good at the start. And pop growth speed +10%, which is of course always good at the start and also later on. Militarists, they cannot use the no retreat war doctrine. Claim influence cost is decreased by 10%. Ship fire rate is increased by 10% from the early to the mid game. This is very good and doesn't really lose its charm until far into the later game. They are enduring. The leader lifespan is increased by 20 years. The natural engineers, engineering being arguably the most important research branch in the end. So in research from jobs in engineering +15%, and they're adaptive, habitability +10%. They're also unruly. Their empire size from pops is increased by 10%, which only plays a role until much later, really, in the later game. They're a prosperous unification. The AI usually does well with that, starting the game with an additional 4 pops and additional 2 districts. They are nothing too special, but I expect them to do somehow well. They are a typical warrior civilization, and if they choose the right moment to go to war, they should be able to do well. Here we got the Grand Commissariat. Seems like halflings, eh? On the reserve-based Kawa, an Arctic world, a military commissariat, which is democratic, automatic resettlement chance plus 50%, and is pretty militarist at least. Efficient bureaucracy they have, so they're deep bureaucrats, it seems. Administrator upkeep minus 20%, so renowned for its efficiency. We haven't had that. As well as the Byzantine bureaucracy, stability from bureaucrats plus 1, unity from bureaucrats plus 1. That seems really, really interesting. Clone army? We'll see. They're fanatic Xenophiles, so they are kind of friendly militarist bureaucrats. That's blowing my mind. Increased opinion for other species, cannot use no refugee species policy, cannot enslave entire, cannot displace aliens. They have 20% more trade value and 2 more available envoys, so they will do really well in diplomacy. They're militarists, can use no retreat war doctrine, and yeah, they should really do, with that setup, migration treaties. Then they can be really, really good with the leaders from the clone army, and that it could have really, really good implications. Claim influence cost goes down minus 10% with militarist, and ship fire rate goes up 10%. Effective until the late game, when it starts being less effective. But ship fire rate is very good, especially at the start. Claim influence cost in the mid game, and later it's still good. Clone soldiers, governing ethics attraction plus 50%, leader lifespan minus 40 years, army damage plus 50%. Cannot be genetically modified, cannot reproduce naturally, but have additional traits and bonuses. They're solitary, pop housing usage plus 10%, which makes a lot of sense. There won't be that many of them. They're repugnant, amenities from jobs minus 20%, and venerable. So it kind of, they will have leaders that live long enough to be effective. And I think that's a very good counter move to clone soldiers. It's a cool idea. Their traditional unity from jobs is increased by 10%. So they're starting as a clone army, species of short-lived, well, not so short in that echelon case, and infertile soldiers clones, exceptionally proficient in matters of war, left masterless and alone to question their engineered purpose and uncertain role. Starting with 2 ancient clone vat buildings, the homeworld producing clone soldier pops. Ancient clone vats have an empire limit of 5. Clone army admirals will grant an additional 25% ship fire rate and 10% reduced ship upkeep. When the forces of the 100th Sun Empire marched to glorious disaster, the only clone soldiers were the supply clerks and vat techs of reserve base Kawa, which is them. For a species designed to be part of a multinational force, the loneliness was unbearable. Now they head out looking for friends who won't run away, when regaled with tales of how bravely Form XR54312 was filled in. So they're clone bureaucrats, basically. I love that story. We'll see if they do well. I mean, if they get some friends on board with migration treaties, I see them doing well. Led by led by the soldier bureaucrats. Bureaucracy for the galaxy. Now we're coming to the last few entries that I've received and put in. The exciting last ones. Among them, Theia's lost children. Yeah, we've seen them already, and they are the lost children of, I think, the winner of the first galaxy, if I remember it right. So, here we have Lost Theia, the Tundra world, and they are an Imperial Irenic monarchy, so they have power projection plus 1. They're environmentalists. The society seeks to coexist in harmony with nature. 20% less consumer goods upkeep, very useful at the start. And pleasure seekers allows decadent lifestyle living standard, under which all affected pops have increased happiness and consumer goods upkeep, but pop growth. From entertainers plus 1%, servants produce 5 additional amenities. That balances each other out, right? It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool idea to balance that out and to get some more pop growth from that. And more happiness, more importantly. And here we go with even more pop growth. Fanatic Xenophobes. Pop growth speed plus 20%. Starbase influence cost minus 40%. They can purge and enslave aliens. Decreased opinion for other species, cannot give aliens full citizenship, cannot allow them full military service, cannot use refugees, welcome. And they're pacifists. Cannot use unrestricted wars policy. Cannot engage in indiscriminate orbital bombardment. Empire size from pops is decreased by 15%, which is extremely useful, especially when combined with the growth concept we have here, and stability +5, which is always just very good. They're intelligent. 10% more research output from jobs. They're decadent, worker, and slave happiness goes down 10%. Again, balancing out the happiness from the pleasure seekers. They're wasteful. Pop consumer goods upkeep goes up 10%. Again, balanced out by environmentalist. And they're charismatic. Amenities from jobs are increased by 20%, which always helps out, like a lot. So they won't have problems. So it's all about making the people happy and getting more people. They're starting on the Tundra world of Lost Theia, led by Selk. They're a prosperous unification, getting 4 additional pops and 2 additional districts at the start of the game, which is usually a very powerful origin for the AI. You also get a buff for your first planet for, I think, 25 years or something like that. That will also boost you pretty good. I have high hopes for these. We'll see how they do. We'll see how they do. They could be the first xenophobes to really do well. Then we come to the divine Polonian Tribunal. They're starting on the continental world of Polonia. They're a holy tribunal. They're oligarchic. Faction unity gain plus 15% helps out with the new unity system. They're an exalted priesthood. Capital buildings replace some politician jobs with high priests, and the unity from high priests is increased by 1. So they have very good high priests. And they also have memorialists, can build a sanctuary of repose, providing death chronicler jobs, improve governing ethics attraction on tomb worlds and relic worlds. Death chroniclers turn consumer goods into unity, society research and stability. They're also egalitarian, can use the great utopian living standards, cannot use autocratic, has faction unity gain another plus 25%, which is really good. Specialist pop resource output plus 5%, which is of course always nice. Specialist resources are always very valuable. So they're also pacifists, cannot use unrestricted wars, cannot engage in indiscriminate orbital bombardment. Empire size from pops going down 15%, stability going up 5%. Really helps out a lot, and spiritualists can build the great temple buildings. It's, I think, a prerequisite for these two, or at least exalted priesthood. And cannot use full AI rights policy, and has 10% more monthly unity, minus 10% edicts upkeep, minus 10% edict costs, so they'll have free reign for most edicts. From the start, they're rapid breeders too. Pop growth speed is increased by 10%, probably managed well by this combination. And they're intelligent, so they also get 10% more research from jobs, and traditional, so 10% more unity from jobs. So they have all these advanced progressive resources in abundance. They're unruly though. Their empire size from pops is increased by 10%, but this is balanced out by being pacifist. And their wasteful pop consumer goods upkeep goes up 10%, which could be a little bit of a problem, but it's kind of balanced out from the egalitarian specialist pop resource output. So that's also a very interesting one, and we'll see if it can succeed, as it's probably a very good peaceful empire. They're also starting with a prosperous unification, starting with an additional 4 pops and an additional 2 districts, a very good start for the AI usually. The Space Polish people and their holy crusade in the name of Jesus Christ. In the name of Christ, they will go to the heavens above to establish Christian faith as the dominating and civilizing force in the galaxy. The civilization of human settlers dominated by Polish culture and memes. The DNA of the soul will bring the passion of Christ to all their friends and the wrath of God to all their enemies. Do not try to seduce them into sinning, for they will smite you back to the hell you belong, Xenos, demon. But if you want to come over to the Sunday Bible Study Club, you're invited, Xenos friend. Love and peace to all children of our Lord Jesus Christ, as well as his mother and father. So, it's the holy Trinity of Polonia that's going to the skies, where they they've probably always felt they belong to. We have the Tomato Imperium. Very red, I like it. They're a mortal empire. Power projection +1. They have catalytic processing. Replacing metallurgists with catalytic technicians. Catalytic technicians turn food into alloys. They're also a death cult. Can build the sacrificial temple. Death priests turn consumer goods into unity, society research, and amenities, and mortal initiates turn consumer goods into society research. Unlocking a set of sacrifice edicts, providing empire-wide bonuses whenever mortal initiates are sacrificed. They're fanatic authoritarian, allowing for the cheap stratified economy. Living standards can enslave aliens, must have autocratic government forms, and has 1 more monthly influence and 10% more worker pop resource output. Also, spiritualists can build a temple building and has not access to full AI rights. Monthly unity is increased by 10%, edicts upkeep -10%, edict cost also -10%. They'll do good with edicts. They are the tomato plantoids, starting on the tomb world of Potok. They're survivors, of course. Tomb world habitability +70%, leader lifespan +10 years. They're budding. Each pop working as a slave or better produces 0.02 monthly organic pop assembly, helping with growth and radiotrophic. Replaces 50% of base food upkeep with energy upkeep. Pops living on tomb worlds, though, have no energy upkeep, so it's a big starting advantage together with that. Pop growth speed on tomb worlds +10%, tomb world habitability +10%. It's really nice. You can combine something to make tomb worlds really, really great for you. Will they also bomb them down? We'll see. They're non-adaptive, habitability -10%. And unruly, empire size from pops increased by 10%. Which is only relevant really later, and they are intelligent, so they have research. 10% more research from jobs. They are post-apocalyptic, of course, starting at the tomb world and the survivor trait that we've already seen. We came after the big blowout. Who was there before us? Ruined Potok forever. We will now take this ruined world into our hands and set out among the stars. They'll take care. Let's see if they can catch up to the other empires. I'm sorry. But that's a really special empire. We've never seen a combination like this. I think it's really cool. The next step. The Comet-born consumers are starting on the Tundra world of Starfall, led by the male Boki. They are a ravenous hive mind. Hive mind means pop growth speed +25%, empire size effect -25%, not affected by happiness, things like that. Can genetically modify pops to become hive mind compatible if biological ascension path is completed. Cannot research or build robot pops. Non-hive mind pops must be assimilated, enslaved, or purged. Cannot follow psionic or synthetic ascension paths. Limiting, but really great buffs, and it's a devouring swarm. Cannot engage in diplomacy. Access the galactic market is also blocked. Has the hunger casus belly on all other empires. Xenopops will always be eaten. Gains society research from eating xenopops. Starbase influence cost a whopping -50%. Ship hull points +25%. Daily hull and armor regen +0.5% for the ship's army damage +40%. Research speed biology +20%. Ship build cost -25%. Naval capacity +33%. A machine of war. They are also subsumed will. Empire size from pops -20%. Edicts fund +25. Waives all unity costs for drone resettlement. So they can do what they want with their edicts and with their drones, it seems. Their gestalt consciousness, of course. War exhaustion gain is -20%. Monthly influence +1. And encryption +2. They are hard to crack. Nearly impossible to crack. And they have a disabled tutorial. Oh no! They're lithoids. Pop growth speed and pop assembly speed is decreased by 25%. Habitability +50%. Army health +50%. Leader lifespan +50. I'm really looking forward to how this works The empire size from pops minus 20%. They will have not a big penalty for growing big. It's going to be really, really interesting. So they're not affected by happiness. They're industrious. They get more minerals from jobs, 15% more minerals. As they're lithoids, this makes a little bit of sense, right? And they're very strong. Army damage, another plus 40%. Worker pop resource output plus 5%. They are unruly. Empire size from pops plus 10%, which really doesn't... Yeah, it's balanced out by subsumed will. And they're fleeting. Their leader lifespan is minus 25 years, which is not that bad. Because as a lithoid, you already live so long. They have calamitous birth. Which means they start with a massive crater deposit in the homeworld, giving additional total districts and mining districts. And they are able to build meteorite colony ships, which travel at great speed but damage their target planets. Little is known about the species now known as the Comet-born. They gained their name after study of deceased specimens, revealed that they are Gestalt silicon-based life forms whose physiology contains cosmic materials originating in comets. One such comet struck the world now known as Starfall, and the aliens scoured the planet with devastating speed. From there, they quickly spread across the stars, devouring not only organic material, but celestial bodies themselves. The major powers of the galaxy were forced to set aside their conflicts and form a united front, and only succeeded after a century of war. But there may still be dormant Comet-born, silently waiting, watching, and hungering. Yeah, it's going to be great. We have the Khajiit Kingdoms. And, yeah, they are cats, as you can see. They're coming from the desert world of Elsewhere. They're an enlightened Imperial monarchy with power projection +1. They have a philosopher king. Rulers and governors are less likely to gain negative traits. Ruler level cap +2. They're a feudal society. Leaders do not cost unity upkeep if they're employed. Cannot be dismissed. In addition, your employed governors generate unity equal to their level. Subjects can build star bases to expand their territory. And leader cost is minus 50%, subject power relations penalty minus 50%. They're authoritarian, allows for stratified economy living standards. They can enslave aliens, cannot use democratic government forms, but have 0.5 more monthly influence and work pop resource output +5%. They're militarists, can use the no retreat war doctrine. Claim influence cost goes down by 10% and ship fire rate goes up 10%. Just a little bit better at leading wars, especially in the early and mid-game. Spiritualists can build temple buildings, cannot use full AI rights. Policy has monthly unity +10%, edicts upkeep -10%, and edict cost also -10%. So they will have all the edicts they want. They're also communal. Use 10% less pop housing. Conservationist. Pop consumer goods upkeep is decreased by 10%. And intelligent, they have 10% more. Research from jobs. They're quarrelsome though. 10% less unity from jobs. Which is not really bad because they are already spiritualists. So it balances each other out. And they're deviants. Governing ethics attraction -15%. But I think they can take it. That only is important very, very much later. They are living on the galactic doorstep. Civilization has a dormant gateway in their home system, potential technological benefit or looming menace. They will start with a dormant gateway in the home system. An interesting start that we didn't have so far yet. Then we have the Anathurian Consortium. They're starting on the savannah world of Netraxia. They're a corporate trade league, increasing their monthly unity by 10%, empire size effect plus 25%, but they are free traders. The trading fleets of this megacorp are bolstered by semi-independent free traders operating under license. 10% more trade value, 10% more branch office value. They're franchising. Subject power relations penalty -33% and empire size from branch offices -25%. So kind of balancing the corporate modifier here out. They're xenophiles, increasing opinion for other species. They will have to take some refugees, cannot enslave entire species, cannot displace aliens, have a trade value increase by 10% and available invoice +1. So that will help a lot with diplomacy. They are fanatic materialists, Allows for the great academic privilege living standards. Cannot use AI outlawed policy. Cannot use robotic workers outlawed policy. Robot upkeep minus 20% and research speed plus 10%. Really useful combined, especially with intelligent. Research output from jobs plus 10% and also natural engineers. Research output from engineering jobs another plus 15%. They're also weak. Worker pop resource output minus 2.5% and army damage minus 20%. Interestingly, intelligent natural engineers and weak increases the probability to get access to the robot technologies early on, together with fanatic materialists. So they will probably get access to robots very early on, and we'll see how that will affect them. They are starting as a hegemon. So they're starting as the leader of a hegemony federation with 2 additional members. These members will occupy any guaranteed habitable worlds slots near their home system. So they will have to find other worlds. And they will start with the Federation tradition unlocked. They'll probably plant their branch offices to their Federation members. That will be one of the first actions they do. And we'll see how it will work out for the Authoritarian consortium. It's really hard to tell. What is my favorite of this galaxy? I couldn't really tell. They are all pretty surprising, pretty great, and we'll have fun together in Galaxy 8.